Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cody Shattuck's Small Town Startup. How are you guys doing? Man? I'm so glad to be sitting here with you today. I got some more stuff on my mind that I think is really going to help you guys as far as side hustles. Okay, do you have a side hustle? Do you have visions of creating your own business? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to be self-sufficient in the best sense of that term? Well, let me tell you something right now. If you're at a job right now and you're like, all right, this is not permanent. I got to pay the bills. You're making the right move right now. But look, the point here is you can't stay too long, because if you stay too long, it's going to somehow trap you. It's going to get in there that this is all there is for you, and it's not. So let's talk about side hustles, and then eventually turning that side hustle into a seasonal business. And by God, why that's so great. So I don't know if you guys know. If you don't know me, I own my own lawn care and landscape business up here in upstate New York. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Lake George. This whole area, it's fantastic, beautiful Adirondacks. What a great place to have a business, by the way. But if you want to sustain a seasonal business, it all starts with side hustle. Okay, so for me, I had a job. I stepped out half the time on my weekends, my free time, whatever you want to call it. And I started to put the pieces together. I started acquiring the tools that I needed with a little bit out of my paycheck. And before you know it, I was putting ads up. I was getting customers. I was doing something that I knew how to do, that I enjoyed doing. And then I found a new way to enjoy what I was doing. And from there, it's just grown into this whole different world of seasonal business, balance, life, clarity. Just for me, I have, the whole winter off. I don't snowplow. I don't like snowplowing. I don't care. You can make money in snowplowing. I don't want to make the money. I want to have this part of the year for myself to work on other things like this, like Small Town Startup, where I want to be able to help people like you. Also, I'm able to take a step back. I'm not overworked by this one thing all year, spinning the wheel. And I think that's part of why people burn out. That's part of why they're stressed. That's part of why they can't, set aside the time to, put themselves in the right direction toward what they really want to be doing in this life. And so I just said it right there, guys. Why is a side hustle, why is a seasonal business a great idea? Because you can work part of the year. Okay, it's your full-time, part-time job, so to speak. And so, whether that's half a year, whether that's 8 months, whatever it is, you start with the hustle on the side. So, if you're somebody who is a musician, man, and you love to play music, and you want to start giving out lessons, you want to start teaching lessons. Maybe you start on YouTube, maybe you start, getting a following going on social media. You're putting ads in your local area to get to teach lessons. But you got to always think about, when you're marketing, you always got to think about, okay, it's not all the time about the steak, but about the sizzle, right? So it's about how you're putting yourself out there, how you're presenting your offer. What is it that you're trying to hustle with? Because you enjoy this thing. Or maybe it's something that you found frustrating in your environment that you wanted to put a new take on, that you wanted to spin this thing around and make it easier for people. Or maybe you're solving a problem. I don't know what it is, but a side hustle should be fun. It should be at least enjoyable, because this is something that you're doing aside from going to your job. So you don't want to feel like it's an obligation. You want to feel like this thing is pumping you up. You look forward to doing this thing. And by the way, that's how the wheels start turning. That's how this thing starts to become something. And so if you think about it, if you think about not being overworked, like if this is actually true fun, like this is your weekend goal, like this is what you think about when you think about your free time. you can focus on other areas of your life, like this side hustle when you're not working. So by having part of the year off, you're re-energized, you're recharged, so to speak, from not doing that one thing all the damn time. And so that eventually evolves, okay, and it turns into something of a business, something of a monetary substance, where you've turned a side hustle, maybe it's a passion, maybe it's interests, and you've started to turn this thing into a business, and at that, maybe it's a seasonal business. I love seasonal businesses, right? And so, but there's so many different opportunities and so many options for seasonal business, especially in the area that I live in, especially in this upstate New York tourist area. So if you live in a tourist area, look around your town, look around the county, look around, what's going on. Are people attracted to your area for some reason? Is there something, part of the year that brings a lot of people in where you could capitalize on a side hustle or a seasonal business? And so when I talk about seasonal businesses, I don't just talk about, your typical landscape service business, but you can break that down in many different ways with many different ideas. So some examples for you are holiday startup. Take the holidays into consideration. Maybe you open your own shop for the holiday season. Maybe it's a Christmas shop. Maybe you're selling, I don't know, maybe you're selling decor, you're selling, whatever for the holidays. You're selling gifts. But then you're thinking about, Halloween. Oh my God, maybe you're opening your own Halloween hayride. Maybe you got your own corn maze or pumpkin patch. You can evolve all of these little side hustle, all of these little part-time gigs into a seasonal business that eventually where you can step out of your job and run this thing full-time, part-time, okay? Think about ice cream. Think about camping, okay? We're talking about summertime now. Think about maybe opening a B&B. Do you live in a spot where you can open an Airbnb? You can put your house up, go stay in a hotel for a week and rent your house out. Is it that popular of an area where that would gain traction? Maybe it's an outdoor adventure business. Okay, we have a lot of these. Well, we don't have a lot of these. We have some of these up here because that's what it's all about. It's about being outdoors. I'm getting jacked up right now, guys. Maybe it's rafting. Maybe it's kayak and canoeing. Okay, maybe you want to open your own horseback riding stable. Okay, in a unique way. Okay, maybe you have a passion for horses, and you have a property that lends to a whole bunch of different trails that you could take these people on that they can't go by going anywhere else. Okay, maybe you're a personal trainer, maybe you're a sports coach for part of the year, maybe you're a hunting guide, maybe you're a painter. Okay, these are all part-time, part of the year things that you can start to do, step by step, and make this thing of substance for yourself. Okay, so think about these ideas, and ultimately what this is going to create for you is the ultimate work-life balance. I found from experience, you're going to find, look, nowadays, unlike the older generation, we're not out there working 16 hours at a factory, right? We're not busting our butt, 7 days a week to have a home life, to have to put food on the table. Luckily times are changing as to where we can step back a little bit and be a little bit more creative with how we're putting food on the table. What we're doing with our time. Like I said before, if it's a side hustle gig that you want to start online and make a couple $100 a week, don't discount that. It's all about these small steps and what you do every day in order to get yourself to a place where you can step out of that job. Okay, you can step into a different life, and you can start to create these things for yourself that you've always wanted. Okay, so I could talk about this forever, but I hope these tips helped you out. Turn that side hustle into a seasonal business. Get started today. Freaking get happy. This is what happiness is, guys. It's the process of your life, decisions that you're making, and what you can create for yourself. Okay? So go get them. Subscribe to my channel, please, if you found this video helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.